Gods. You show-offs. Look out below.
This could be 9 straight weeks of COVID lockdown talking, but I reckon my 3-hour hands-on with Far Cry 6 was the perfect vacation. The island nation of Yara is heaven. It feels like that first paradise, which lured many of us to that original, mysterious Far Cry of 2004.
Shit, pistol's empty.
I'm pretty sure that this fictional Caribbean jewel gave me what the Beach Boys once called a tropical contact high. It felt so good to be out again. Oh, those sun-soaked boat rides and steamy jungle hikes. Eep, the need to run away from fascist government death squads. Oof, that stop, drop and roll feeling when I got simultaneously choked and burned by farmers spraying highly poisonous fertilizer and napalm on me. You know what? Yeah, I've got cabin fever because that was the worst vacation ever. I'm gonna scoop you up and dive into the depths of that craziness in a minute, but I do like to pepper my videos with 2-minute chunks of non-commentary gameplay, so let's do a bit of that. Skip past them, or directly to them, via the play bar. Talk in a bit.
Disculpa, I must have left them at home.
I'm going to have to report you.
No, por favor, señor. Hola. Hoy no es mi día.
We're looking for a man in 1
I don't know the name. What does he look like?
Older. Wears a fedora.
Adios!
Hi.
Hey. Hey, watch it. Keep walking. Inga!
Fishing. No, you're...
I can't do anything, Cassie.
Someone! Help me!
Pretty as it looks, if Far Cry 6 was to be represented as a postcard from anywhere, it'd be hell. Ubisoft is flinging us into a modern-day guerrilla revolution that's taking place in a luscious Latin purgatory. Frozen in time for more than half a century, this holiday maker's nightmare is run by one Anton Castillo, a self-proclaimed leader played by Giancarlo Esposito of Breaking Bad, The Boys, and The Mandalorian fame.
A true Yaran understands that loyalty to country is key to his survival. Not justice, not love.
Unfortunately, I'm not permitted to speak about the opening 20 minutes of Far Cry 6, where Castillo basically Jekyll and Hydes from being this benevolent, figurative and literal father figure of a dictator into what I'd like to call a turbo Jong-un. You're just gonna have to trust me when I say Esposito gets his sociopathy on with chilling aplomb. This is a magnetic performance. On the other side of the battle lines, you get to play as Danny Rojas, a young military dropout who's playable as either male or female. Quick note, I tried the male version for my session, just for an opportunity to compare against the existing promo material that's out there. That being said, and after a bit of a comparison, I'm actually leaning towards female Danny's line deliveries. That voice actor puts a bit more oomph into it. Far from being the usual saviour type, Danny's only desire is to flee this imploding paradise, to basically chuck a Scarface and vamonos to Miami. Indeed, the first few missions of mine were basically about paying Danny's upkeep to bunk with the local Libertad guerrillas, until such time as I could emigrate to less explosive climates. Nothing's confirmed here, but I do suspect that there will be an option where the player can just opt out of this revolution altogether. Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 5 featured it. I'd be very surprised if Ubi didn't go 3 for 3. If you do stick around for the action, you'll meet a colourful cast of weirdos, local pariahs, roaming international troublemakers, and just these poor bastard victims of Castillo's version of the Great Leap Forward. The specifics of his master plan are: rebuild this impoverished nation with Viviro. Leached out of questionably biohacked tobacco leaves, this goop is unique and a powerful cancer treatment. Basically, old mates trying to go bigger than Big Pharma on the global stage, but only if production can be done on the cheap locally. Each region in Yara, which is carved up in a totally non-gamey way, plays a distinct role in the Viviro production, and all of these places bear the scars of it, even before you rock up and no doubt wreck the place and make it even worse. Slave labour, crippling pollution, land appropriation, and military brutality have torn apart what is otherwise an idyllic sandbox. That all sounds terrible, but hey, upside. That also makes it fertile ground for you to just roll in there and kick some ass with some stupidly overpowered weapons. I'm going to dive into that in a second. For now, why don't we just show rather than tell?
Guapo wants to be your friend. Or maybe he just needs to take a dump.
Only one way to find out. Good night. Okay. Careful, Danny.
Danny, watch out! They've called back their patrols.
¿Qué? You mean this wasn't everybody? Go, over there. I'm out!
Nothing comes before you. They're strong. And they will see the vision through.
They're close! I know it! We need air support!
Found the armory. The uranium is inside.
Gunplay-wise, there are a few new wrinkles that have cross-pollinated across from Far Cry New Dawn. For starters, Ubisoft is leaning into longer enemy life bars that are affected by these sort of RPG-light ammo resistances, gear buffs, etc. A far bigger switch up to the formula, however, is the Resolver guerrilla mechanics centered on some frankly insane weapons and customizations. And apparently in any dirt-poor nation with next to bugger all, everybody's a MacGyver. An effective freedom fighter relies first and foremost on a workbench to augment and shape their attitude adjusters.
Fuck you!
I quickly found out, the hard way, that it's imperative to go out and scan and tag outpost denizens with Danny's phone to read and then adapt to a definite entry strategy. And that could be from armor-piercing rounds that punch through brain buckets, or crafted suppressors if you want to take a more solid snake approach. Basically, it just pays to have options in your 4-weapon arsenal. Oh, and quick note, do not expect to simply just tax a better gun off a body that you've just perforated. Ammo collection off dead enemies is fair game. Their weapons though, well, they just vanish. Like magic. If you're looking to upgrade existing guns, build new ones, or craft mods that can inch your arsenal towards a particular playstyle, you'd best become a kleptomaniac of everything else in this world that isn't nailed down, or bound by some sort of return to gun store Hogwarts spell. A quick menu dive informed me that there are no fewer than 9 resources to collect for gunsmithing, and 3 for upgrading your guerrilla camps. If you can't find any of that crap in a junkyard, you can just trade up by using the hunting materials bloodily ripped out of 40 plus types of huntable animals. You'd best get to gussying up your guns pretty quick. I rode in cocky a few times with some stock firearms. Specifically a Spaz 12, a sniper rifle, and an AK that I thought was more than okay. Even still, I got outclassed. My ammo, experience, and tactical awareness were not in short supply. It was my lack of DIY, and the fact that I was trying to ignore my opponent's stats, which effectively just turned them into bullet sponges. More often than not, I was flanked and outnumbered when the heavy cavalry arrived, and I do mean that literally, they arrive on horseback. And after that, I was either dead or in a world of hurt.
Go, go, go.
Santuario Island. There is a viper in your midst. The terrorista Clara Garcia, the self-proclaimed leader of Libertad, is trapped on your island by our navy. If you see her, or any Libertad, inform the first military officer you see, or your local protectores de la patria. The sooner we find this snake,
We'll burn this fucking place to the ground.
Along with minding my gun choices, I was basically forced to play smarter and invest in this sort of Division-esque gear system that's critical for increasing your stopping power. Nail some missions or visit a black market and you can swap out items for Danny's wrist, foot, leg, chest and head. Each piece of gear belongs to a set. I noticed there was 24, and they're all rated out of 5 stars and come with offensive or defensive perks. If you want to be a sniper, for instance, you just got to find the right gloves and headgear to steady your aim. Or maybe you just want some tactical pants that deepen your ammo reserves for that one beloved sidearm that looks more like an anti-aircraft weapon. Finally, there's your rank. Accomplishing missions will get you better street cred, which precipitates into better kit opportunities. The downshot to that? Your success forces Castillo to use more desperate and brutal counter-tactics. Personally, I ran afoul of a nimble attack chopper. I also spotted what looked to be a government-branded T-34 tank. I can't wait to be on the wrong side of that thing. My Ubisoft handlers told me that a conscious choice was made to build Danny around their arsenal and gear, more than on their physical traits and aptitude. Everything impacts gameplay. Experimenting and having flexible strategies are key to your survival. Alternatively, I just say stick to how you want to kill, but have a differently spec'd co-op partner who can shore up your weaknesses. Because yes, Far Cry 6 is fully playable in co-op with a friend or through public matchmaking. And everybody keeps their character progression. Thank God for common sense.
Clara, guess who just found where all the coffee is made in Yara?
It's no joke, Danny. This is where the army forces farmers to give up their harvests or get thrown into the camps. Castillo grows a reach from the profits and the people starve. You want to stop it? Take the oil powering the factory. And while you're at it, take the fucking factory too.
Que volar.
Danny, you've outdone yourself.
Overall, I quite enjoyed my time with Far Cry 6. As a 17-year fan of this series, the tutorial island of Isla Santorio felt familiar, but was sprinkled with more than enough new systems to prevent too much of that deja vu. It was here that I met key characters, and an alligator named Wapo. That dinosaur is equal parts snapper and sapper, because you can basically send him out to annoy people while you do other things. He quickly becomes your first Amigo companion. And I had a bit of a snoop through those menus, and I saw a few others. Chorizo, the adorable and distracting sausage dog you probably already know. I also spotted a silhouette of what looked to be a more formidable breed of dog, plus what looks to be, and I'm guessing here, some sort of big cat. My money's on a panther. Oh, and there's also a very large fighting rooster. He's quite the cock. I think it's fair to say that the tone of this Far Cry leans a little wackier than most. There's an overall vibe of, don't ask, just roll with it. Case in point, the Supremo backpack that you earn, which is basically your L1 plus R1 special move. When it comes to replacing the ammo of that thing, the guy that hands it to you says, you know what, just kill baddies. It likes that.
And don't forget, if she needs a recharge, the Supremo loves it when you kill more soldados. She's fun like that.
Okie doke.
Wonder what this unlocks.
What Watch your back, Danny. They've sent reinforcements to your position.
Grenade, run!
Guerrilla, there's soldados on the road heading to your position.
Mierda!
Overall, I think Danny feels great to control. They move with agility, machete kill with ferocity, and power slide about like their arse cheeks have been sprayed with that stuff Clark Griswold put on his toboggan in the Christmas of '89.
Later, dudes.
Other extreme movement options include the usual zip lines, parachutes, wingsuits, and the grapple hook seems to play a much larger role than usual. I'd have to say the most fun I had was goofing off in one of the three main Castillo-controlled regions of Yara's main island. That region is famous for its seemingly impassable mountains, dense jungles, coffee plantations, and random jaguar attacks. Speaking of crazy cats, it's also the home of El Tigre and the Legends of 67. They're a group of ex-guerrillas whose experience will be essential in the turmoil to come. Honestly, when I got here, I was just overwhelmed with things to do. Stuff like Yaran stories, treasure hunts, spec operation missions, timed supply drop securings, checkpoints, and convoy assaults, saving hostages, defacing posters, and more. I also spotted something called insurgency challenges that are going to filter in once the main quest is felled. More importantly though, I was impressed with a few upgrades to the enemy AI. In claustrophobic fort sieges where I tried to camp on doorways, I was taxed by multiple shotgun foes who just blitz in, stagger me with a gun butt attack, and then one of their colleagues would just coup de grace my face off. I also had some interesting times in these outdoor encounters where I'd try to sideways strafe incoming enemy jeeps. What will more likely happen is a kamikaze driver will just roadkill you, or the guy behind the wheel will casually drive by you with his pistol. Basically, I'm telling you, if you go in trying to use the old cheese tactics from Far Cry 5, then I think Ubisoft is going to be onto you, and you've probably got a date with the death screen. Couple those noticeable upgrades in AI aggressiveness with the aforementioned picturesque setting, magnetic antagonist, and a wealth of new progression wrinkles, and I'm thinking Far Cry 6 is a holiday worth booking. Whether all of those things combined, plus whatever I haven't seen yet, can add up to a sequel that's as revolutionary as the subject matter, remains to be seen. But this is a great start. Numbered sequels, and half sequels every gap year, can sometimes have a debilitating effect on fans of a franchise. My time with Far Cry 6 went down like a mainline shot of Viviro to my veins. This is a potent cocktail, mixed with the tastiest ingredients from yesteryear and some intoxicating new flavours sprinkled in for good measure. I've taken a speculative sip of Far Cry 6. Now I cannot wait to guzzle down the rest.